Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rumors of Heresy. My name is Zareth, and I've got another battle report for you today. This is the finals, kind of an RTT. Finals as in, I'm undefeated, and my opponent is undefeated. There are 3 other tables with the exact same setup, because it's kind of a big tournament. But facing the new Shadow Legion, which is the new Demons detachment led by Be'lakor. Of course, we have a picture of the Great Unclean One, so that makes total sense. I totally understand why you think it makes total sense. I get it, guys. I get it. You don't even have to tell me how much sense it makes. So 30-person Rogue Trader tournament. I think it was 31-person, but that doesn't matter too much. I stole that picture off the internet. I think it's of the right shop, though. I think it's like of a cleaner, back when things were clean situation. I feel like a jerk saying that. Here's my army. We have pretty much everything painted except for my one Predator tank that I painted about 10 years ago, and I randomly discovered it and I was like, wow, we should use that Predator tank. So we have 3 Predators in this list. If you're wondering why my army looks so amazing, it's because I had it commissioned by someone, and so guys, you could actually have the same guy painting your stuff as well. Listen to the following message. Seriously, take advantage of this, guys. It is absolutely worthwhile. By the way, folks, huge shout out to my painting guy for this army. You guys have probably noticed how lovely the army is that he's painted. I pay him to, he does such a good job. I'm constantly getting compliments, and I have to tell him, no, I'm not the guy who does it. It's a commission painter, and he is doing a deal right now where he'll paint a vehicle for you for $50, which is pretty nice. Really a good deal. An amazing deal, in fact. And you should give it a look, guys. I mean, everyone, we've all got things we need to do, and vehicles can be very time consuming, very challenging to paint, and for $50 he'll paint a vehicle for you, maybe more. If you just reach out to him, go to his Instagram page. It's going to be linked in the video description. Frog and Bear Studios, folks. Go check him out and give him a ring. Hit him up, and he's $50 for this level of painting on vehicles. It's very nice, a really good deal. Please, guys, take advantage of this. Do yourselves a favor. It's You won't regret it. It's truly a great service. So, with that, let's jump back into it here, folks. Frog and Bear Studios in the video description. All right, so here's my list, and I mean, I've described it in the other 2 videos. I have the list linked in the video description. Well, it's not even linked, it's just listed. So if you want to see if I have plasma pistols or the Volkite, whatever nonsense pistol that the Blade Guard have, you can check that out in the description if you like. And yeah, this list has been working well for me, and I mean, I've already fought a demon list off. I beat a GT winner, a recent GT winner with Green Tide Orcs, and now I'm facing someone who is really strong, another Demons player, and I guess we'll talk about his list in just a minute, but the idea behind this list, folks, is just to be really flexible. Hopefully it can play into any of the different list archetypes in the current meta and do okay. Of course, I'm not that super tested against Eldar or the new Imperial Guard stuff, so I guess my mileage may vary when that comes up, but this is all prep for the Rocky Mountain Open, which is a GT that's going to be going about the same time that this video is published. So you can follow my results on that, and there's a link to that in the video description as well. Link to my Discord server, it's kind of new and not that populated, in the video description as well, and my Instagram, which I don't update very often, but you should follow anyways in case I start updating it, because you never know. So my opponent's Demons list, Shadow Legion, as Be'lakor, the Bloodthirster. Gosh, you guys will see how cool the Bloodthirster is. Really does some neat and frustrating things. Great Unclean One, which now they are they're tough. They're tough 13 now. It's outrageous. It's unfair. The Bloodmaster goes with the Bloodletters. Imagine that. This guy went 5-1 at the last 100-person GT that I went to. Really good player. And I'll just say it now. I lost to him at that GT by one. It was a very close game. It was one of those really strange outcome games. I'm not gonna say I should have beat him. Who knows? But it was so close that it kind of felt that way. Anyways, now he's playing this. He's just destroyed his first 2 opponents, and let's get into it. I suppose it's pure madness. So here's our deployment, folks. I actually got to go second again, which is a little bit weird because I'm just not used to going second with this list. I don't have a cohesive, coherent plan for going second. I've just always gone first, and it's such a weird thing. So here's my list, folks. We're keeping a lot in reserves, as you can see. As always, we have Jump Pack Intercessors in Deep Strike. The Storm Speeder Hammer Strike is also in Deep Strike. And then Infernus, Marines, a Ballistus Dread, and a Predator Destructor are all in strategic reserves. And you can see that this is a pretty standard deployment for me. Just the Ballistus can kind of poke out and has some decent sight, firing lanes, whatever, be able to see that center objective and threaten it if he needs to. We have scouts and then incursors. They both kind of scout move into that same area so that they can threaten the center objective as well if necessary. And this is after scout moves, folks. So the Beast of Nurgle, you can see, is already on the objective. The Great Unclean One also scouted up. He'll be on the objective. And then I think he's got a Beast of Nurgle hiding. Not that we're talking about his list right now, but you can see it, search and destroy again. So table quarters, and we've already got the clocks going. Yeah, so he's got a Beast of Nurgle. Apparently I didn't put an arrow to it, so it's like scouted behind my this ruin here. And then remember, Great Unclean Ones get scout moves now. Beast of Nurgle gets scout move now. And then Bellacor's here, the Bloodthirster. There's a bunch of Screamers and Bloodletters in the back here that you guys can't see. Some Fleshhounds that are here that will eventually just wander into this building and just try to never leave. And then Nurglings. It's pretty standard, I suppose. He does have a Soul Grinder marked with Corn, so I think he can advance and charge or something like that. Pretty scary stuff. That he's clearly threatening the expansion objective. No one knows what to do about that. So once again, here's the photo. He ended up deploying for a little bit longer than me. You can see we kept track on a clock here, which you guys might be able to see here and there in the photos. And I'm the 109. He's the 105. I think we both started with 112 minutes, something like that. So I was pretty quick because this is standard deployment for me. So Demons get first turn, and they get Area Denial, which, geez, it's such an easy one for them to get. And Marked for Death, which is maybe a little more difficult to get, almost impossible to get, in fact, on turn 1, but it didn't re-roll any of them. So here's right before the action started. You guys have already seen this photo a few times. So I think the scariest thing is he moved his, he has 3 units of Fleshhounds, folks, and so one of them I'm pointing at right here, one of them's over here on the objective, holding it in the ruin, and the third one is over here eating my scouts. Tragic incident there. He charged the scouts, and he also put a Beast of Nurgle on my expansion objective turn 1, which is just bonkers. It was actually a really cool model. I don't even know what model it is, but he's there. He's on the objective. He's 1 or 2 or 3 OC. Who knows how many? More than my Combi Lieutenant, who isn't quite on the objective. I learned my lesson from the last one, guys. Don't be lazy and have him start off of the objective so that he can't get Storm Hostile objective or something on turn 1 from me, if possible. So he killed 4 scouts. Scout Sergeant didn't do anything back, of course, and A little frustrating, but I mean, what's going to happen? I mean, the biggest frustrating thing is he was trying. He told me later. He's a very good player, of course. He told me later he's just trying to get rid of the uppy downy. He doesn't want me to be able to have the scouts come in from reserves at whenever I want him to, so that they can get you know the locus or behind enemy lines, whatever that is. So killing those scouts, pretty calculated and kind of a good move on his part. But there's a few things we can do about that, perhaps. So you can see all of the bloodletters and screamers just kind of moved into this building. The Nurglings are all screening so that I can't charge them because they're all within 1 inch of the wall. And he's got the Beast of Nurgle and Great Unclean One both sitting on the objective. And this is Burden of Trust, which is that awkward one where you have to select someone to be guarding an objective. And it's not great for us, folks. It's not good that he's already holding this objective, and he killed those scouts. I guess we'll talk about that in just a minute. So anyways, we get Bring It Down, which under some circumstances could be cool. I mean, if we killed that Great Unclean One on turn 1, that would be amazing, but we probably can't do that, especially because he's hiding behind Bellacor's 18-inch wall of can't see me. But containment is something we can do, at least. So I was not expecting those scouts to die on turn 1. And I'll just spoil it for you now, guys. The last remaining scout fails his battle shock test and runs for the hills. He just dies because I needed to fall back and so that I could shoot the hounds, and I rolled a 1 and they died. He died. So no more scouts, and that kind of sucks a whole lot, because I was planning on using a combination of scouts and incursors to contest that center objective, and now we don't have that option. It's kind of a big deal, actually, folks. We don't want that sort of thing to happen, and it did, and we just got to deal with it. But the hounds being there, however, does give us a kind of interesting opportunity, in fact. So this turn, let's try to take out the Beasts of Nurgle, I guess. And the good news is we're going second, so we'll score at the end of our turn on turn 5. So if we still have an army left, hopefully being patient is going to help us. But wasn't a good start for us, folks. A good move on my opponent's part. Those hounds were frustrating, for sure. Good move. Alright, so we're gonna Bring It Down in containment, and I actually think I rolled something else and I spent a CP to get rid of it. Bring It Down isn't the very best, but it's something we could maybe work with, possibly. So, the planning period, guys, the planning stage, you can see the Beast of Nurgle's there, Beast of Nurgle's here. Gotta kill those two guys, and do what damage we can to this guy. Remember, he's within 6 inches of Bellacore. It doesn't look like it, but we measured it out, and he is just barely within 6 inches, and that means he has Lone Op within 18 inches, which means none of my guys can see the Great Unclean One to even shoot him unless they're within 18 inches of him, which is a challenging thing for like this tank to be able to see him. You just can't. And this tank just has no way of seeing him, even if he was in plain view without Lone Op. So we've got to do something. There's also this Soul Grinder here that's obviously not staging to threaten the center objective. It'd be way too congested between it and the Great Unclean One and everything. Clearly it's going for this expansion objective, and we can't really let that happen. It's not really something we can do. So what we're gonna try to do is shoot a couple of these flesh hounds, and then have Vulkan come up here, charge them, and consolidate onto the objective, giving me enough OC to hold this, assuming the Soul Grinder does actually kill, or does actually charge and try to take out the objective. So that's the goal. Anyways, let's see how it goes. So we did kill both of the Beasts of Nurgle. Not too tough. They're tough 9. You have to kill them, or they in one phase, or they just regenerate all of their wounds. So they only have 7 wounds though, and the Predator over here pretty easily sniped out the Beast of Nurgle. I think I also had the Ballistus right there. He moved up a little bit. Shoot the Beast of Nurgle. The other one, I think the Predator shot pretty easily. Maybe it was the Ballistus who got it, one way or another. Both Beasts of Nurgle gone. Nothing too crazy. Over here, it's a little bit blurry, I guess, but the idea, of course, stands. We have the Infernus Marines who are kind of moving up to be in the center here, and I killed a couple of the Fleshhounds, and then Vulkan tried to charge the Fleshhounds, failed it. Spent a CP, got it, killed the Fleshhounds pretty easily, and got onto the objective. So they hold the objective. Wonderful. That's cool. That's pretty neat. And otherwise, you can see the Predators over here. I think the I still don't remember. Impulsor is over here somewhere too. We're ready to get into the middle next turn. And so yeah, it sucks, guys. I didn't get onto this objective because the thing is, the Great Unclean One has an Overwatch Flamer, which is probably good enough to kill one of my Marines. And because it's OC5, I need all 5 Marines to get onto that objective. Otherwise, I probably would have gotten them on there just to stop him from scoring 6 more primary points on turn 2. I didn't want him to have that, but because we don't have scouts, and remember what I said about that scout trying to fall back from the Fleshhounds, and because he failed Battle Shock, he just ran away forever and died. Poor bastard. Poor Zareth, honestly. More poor me than him. But that meant that if my Incursors moved onto the objective and the Great Unclean One Overwatch, which I'm sure he would have, he probably most likely would have killed 1. And then all 4 of them would have been exposed and still not been contesting the objective. So decided to just let him have it and keep my resource with the Incursors until a later date. So yeah, you can see the Beasts of Nurgle with those big X's there. We did kill them, so that felt nice. Of course, we've got that Soul Grinder here to contend with next turn. Well, we'll see how that goes. And I believe that's it. So yeah, I scored 6 for containment. Bring it down. Yeah, I had marked for death, so I re-rolled that one. Turned it into bring it down. Bring it down turned into CP. Hooray! I needed all the CP I could get. And he got his 5 for area denial, because you just can't really stop that in turn 1 unless you want to spend some really weird resources that I don't want to do. So both of us got marked for death out of the way this turn. For turn 2, he got Defend Stronghold and Storm Hostile Objective, which I don't hold the center, of course, but I do hold that. It kind of just forced his hand. He's going to try to take my expansion objective, almost certainly. Remember, though, Vulkan is OC10, so as long as Vulkan lives, then he can't have it. Defend Stronghold, there's no way I can stop it. He'll easily get that one. And so you can see the Soul Grinder. Pretty obviously tasked with trying to take this objective. He doesn't have any models that can really support that, though. So Vulkan is OC 11 with the standard. If the standard is dead, then he's only 10, but this is his marked objective. So, and he's on the objective. The question is, can the Soul Grinder just ignore all that and kill the squad anyways? It's a little bit crazy. And then, of course, he's going to hold this objective for another turn. Doesn't need to do anything, though. He can just chill out a little bit. So the Soul Grinder did, in fact, shoot at Vulkan and charged him. And let's jump into that here, folks. That's the only really exciting thing that happened. So he shoots and charges Vulkan. Of course, it's -1 to wound against Vulkan. Doesn't do any damage shooting. And then when he charges in, he manages to kill all of the company heroes, even despite... I don't remember if I used Armor of Contempt or if that was even a worthwhile endeavor, but even though he's -1 to wound, he killed all of them and then had a couple hits go into Vulkan as well. Vulkan, despite having a 4-up Feel No Pain, felt all the pain that I think he had 2 invulnerable saves. He saved 1, and then he had 2 damage that he felt all the pain. He just always feels the pain. The secret is, guys, on paper, Vulkan has a 4-up Feel No Pain. In reality, it's more like a 7-up Feel No Pain, because he never rolls the damn Feel No Pains ever. I've never seen him roll even remotely average on Feel No Pains. So watch out for that at Rocky Mountain Open. Maybe it'll just turn around. But the awesome news is we don't even have to take a battle shock with Vulkan, because he's alone now and he's over half health. So he's just gonna hold this objective now. He's gonna hold it and we're good to go. Good, happy day. Or some, maybe it's just one happy. Maybe it's 3 happies. I don't know. We hold the objective, guys. We held. Vulkan lives. It's exciting. Tell your friends. It's wonderful. So one thing I did do, because I wasn't sure exactly what he wanted to do with the back zone. I'm always afraid screamers can go 14 inches and then charge. I don't, and my guys are sitting on the objective, holding it because they have to guard it for two points every round, and for primary. And so I don't want them to get up here and then charge the ballistas and then get on the objective, or be able to get up here and you know, use the cereal box terrain as a kickoff to be able to charge the intercessors in the back here that are on the objective and then get onto that objective. And so we've got our jump intercessors here to just block the screamers for being able to come and take the objective. Because if they want to charge the ballistas, that's great. Jump intercessors will just heroic intervene, right? So we're just doing this to make sure that the screamers behave themselves, is essentially what it is. We don't want him to take my home objective without some kind of recourse. Even though the home objective is kind of not worth defending now that I'm thinking of it. In all the other missions that we've had, that's probably would have been a better move. I'm thinking now, maybe I just let him take my home objective for, it's worth 2 banners, is all it's worth. I really don't have to worry about that. Yeah, so, and anyways, yeah, we rapid ingress these guys, and I also just wanted to have them available to potentially like attack his home objective or his expansion objective, which I eventually decided not to, as you'll see. But anyways, the Soul Grinder's still there. Great Unclean. I haven't really killed much of his, just like some flesh hounds, and that's it. But we've got a big turn coming up. So we get area denial and engage on all fronts, which was great, kind of. Area denial is really tough to get, of course. The center, holding the center is probably not something we can do, though we can do it because you can see the Great Unclean One is just towing in on the objective. It's not actually within 3 inches of the center. It's within 3 inches of the objective, which is in the center, but it's not within 3 inches of the actual center. And so if I get someone to hold it in the middle, then I can at the very least get the baby area denial, which it's not as good as the full area denial, of course, but this isn't a good set though, guys. Engage on all fronts is also not great for where our table position is, but we've got to do the best with what we can. So yeah, let's figure this out. Honestly, for how much people say Soul Grinders suck, he did a lot better than I thought he was capable of. You don't see many of those things out in the wild, and that thing did pretty good. It killed a full squad of company heroes without any help at all. So, and it almost killed Vulkan, kind of. Not really. Vulkan was fine. He just feels more pain than he should. Than he ought to, folks. So, that's good. But, guys, we can't. He scored 14 primary on turn 2 because he had 6 for that center objective. That's a lot. That's a lot. We can't let him do that again. We can't let him do that again. So, contest the center, clear off the expansion, and then hopefully the expansion will just be shut off. And maybe mess with his own expansion was the hope at the start, at least. Let's see how feasible that actually is. All right, area denial and engage on all fronts. Let's see what we can do here, folks. So we can bring in our reserves now if we want to, if that's feasible. We'd have to take out this Soul Grinder. So you guys can see on the left-hand side now, I've added something. I don't know if this is the best place for it, so feedback is great, but if you want to give it to me in the comments area. Tactical Doctrine is the one I decided to pop this time, and this is where I'll mark where I'm putting the doctrine that I used for a turn when I use them. So we used Tactical Doctrine because I didn't want to spend a CP on getting Vulkan to back out, and I wanted to use Vulkan to be able to shoot the Soul Grinder. I don't really know if that was, I don't know if we really needed to, because you can still target the Soul Grinder and get let me be able to reroll to wound against it with the Forge Father ability. But one way or another, we did use Tactical Doctrine this turn, just for Vulkan's sake alone. And so cool. Are you proud of me? Otherwise, that was it. So, the moment, of course, on the Soul Grinder, you can see Soul Grinder's no longer there. And here, let's just zoom in on the areas that are interesting and important. So, I suppose first off, we have the center here where I decided to advance my Ballistus Dread, and that meant he couldn't shoot. But he did get onto the objective, which was pretty necessary. He's 4 OC, and so I put a few incursors on here. Remember, I'm in Tactical Doctrine, so the intention here is if he gets close to the incursors, then they can just use a reactive move, and because they're in Tactical Doctrine now, they can get a full 6-inch move to be able to get back into the ruins if they want to as a reactive move. So there is that as an option, and that's basically it. Let's see, do I have something zoomed in? No. So the other big thing here, folks, is being able to kill that Soul Grinder. Vulkan did back up. We just used the Flamers. I believe the Infernus Marines who dropped the Soul Grinder down to a 4-up save. They were able to get like 5 wounds on their own, and then of course we had the Predators shooting and something else. I don't remember what all shot, folks, but we were able to take down that Soul Grinder pretty well. I think I was getting ready to charge with Vulkan as well, but Vulkan, I think I needed his Flamer to be able to do some more damage to the Soul Grinder as well, and we got him. We got the bastard, so that's exciting, right? So exciting. And we did finally, even though it's just turn 2, it still feels like a finally, contest this thing. The Predator that you can just see the nozzle sticking out right here also got some shots on the Great Unclean One, and even though it didn't have Oath of Moment, I do get to reroll 1s to wound because this is my Combi Lieutenant's objective. So you reroll 1s to wound, and I was able to throw a grenade at the Great Unclean One and then use the Haywire Mines, and at the end of all of it, remember the Ballistus can't shoot because he's advancing so that he can get on the objective, because I didn't plan very well. At the end of the day, though, the Great Unclean One is down to 5 wounds remaining. I think he starts with like 20 or 22, something like that. So pretty big hits on the big fella there. Really nice, actually. Pretty good. I decided not to go for the expansion objective, by the way, folks, just because I figured the Bloodthirster would go in and just wipe them out in 1 turn, and it would only disrupt that objective for 1 turn. And I thought the Jump Intercessors needed to stay there to screen his Screamers away if possible. So anyways, you can see he got his 14 on Burden of Trust on turn 1, turn 2, which is terrible. He only got Defense Stronghold. He didn't get Storm Hostile because he didn't kill Vulkan. However, I did re-roll behind enemy lines when I got it, and it turned into Cull the Horde, which he didn't have, so then it turned into Engage All Fronts, and I couldn't get that one, so all I scored was 2 for Area Denial. But I mean, that's better than nothing. It's better than a swift kick to the nuts. It's better than having your having your nuts dipped in lava like happened to Anakin Skywalker too. So there's a lot of great things that this is better than. So Demons turn 3 get Bring It Down, which I have a ton of tanks on the board now, and Extend Battle Lines, which is just so easy. It gets it automatically for 5 really easy ones. So you can see I did bring in 1 Predator, but I left a lot of other things in reserves. You can also see, folks, you can't really see it that well, but I have my Storm Speeder here. I think that was the other way I was able to kill the Soul Grinder, was the Storm Speeder was able to shoot him as well, take away his cover save and all of that. So Storm Speeder's here, and we have a couple tanks and all of that. It's wonderful for him because he can kill my tanks for Bring It Down. So, he does move. I forget what exactly he moves within 6 inches, but he does move something, and the Incursors take the hint and flee for their lives. They don't want to deal with this nonsense. So they're going to be 1 inch behind the walls, so they can't be charged by anything, which is great. It's very sensible of them, to be honest. It's like having breakfast. So, otherwise, I don't think I have a picture for the end of this round, but the Bloodthirster jumps into the middle and charges and kills the Ballistus. And the thing that he can do after that, he has an enhancement that immediately after he charges and kills a full unit in melee, that he can just go into strategic reserves or into deep strike immediately after doing that. So he jumps in, kills the Dreadnought, and goes into reserves. So just this fantastic hit and run. And the Great Unclean One, of course, he heals up, so he's got more wounds on him, that rat bastard. And then let's see what else happened. So I have it pointing to the wrong plague bearers. That's not what they're called. Whatever, these Nurglings. It's not the 6-man Nurgling squad. He moves his 3-man Nurgling squad here and charges both tanks with them, just so they can't move up and mess with his objective. I thought that was a really good move of his. I probably should have had this tank, this green one, charge them at the end of my turn last turn, but I didn't. I was a little bit dumb. I think if I had done that, maybe his Screamers would have come out, but then if they had come out, we could have maybe ambushed things, like just gone in and taken them out. I don't know. It would have made things more awkward, but one way or another, these Nurglings are now just not only are they stopping these tanks from moving forward because they're engaged with them, they're also stopping me from getting reserves on this entire flank of the board, which is problematic to say the least. I think he moved a few Nurglings out here just to make it so that there was no way I could get any reserves on any corner of the board at all, unless it was over here by my own expansion objective. So good move on him. He's doing a really good job screening my stuff, and killed my Ballistus. And then I believe he killed... Did he kill one more tank? I don't remember. Maybe it was just one. No one knows, guys. It's impossible to know these things. So we get Defend Stronghold and no prisoners, which no prisoners, fine by me. We've got to make something happen. We've only killed a couple things here. At Defend Stronghold, hopefully we can do that. So this is a turn we need to make something happen, because he's frankly outscoring us and kicking our ass at every corner. Tell you what, guys, I'm sick of seeing that Great Unclean One just hold that center objective. Great job by him, just sitting there and doing nothing and costing me all kinds of stress and points and gray hairs and area denials. We really need to punch him right in the mouth, which is on his stomach, which is awkward and convenient, both. And then if we can do that, the big thing here is, what is he going to hold that objective with? Does he have something else to really start trading there effectively? Like, if you kill that guy, it's forcing something valuable to go on that objective, or just let me have it. And he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to let me have it. So we got to do something about it. And so I suppose let's see how it goes. That rhymes. So that's something. At least we have rhymes, even if we don't have points. It feels empty to me too. All right. Defend stronghold, no prisoners. We can do this. Come on, self, you can do this. We're looking in the mirror, of course, hoping that we can do this. So no more ballistas dread here, of course. And I don't think I have a picture for the end of this turn, but you'll see what happens. I do have a lot. I think I have the rest of the turn's pictures here. So, decided to go into Devastator Doctrine, guys, because we got to kill the Great Unclean One. He healed a little bit, and he is just he's a tough cookie to crack or crumble or something. Maybe both. You know, you never know. Cookies can do both. So the idea here, though, is we're gonna have to roll some decent advance rolls for this tank to be able to get line of sight to him. Then we have other tanks that could potentially see him. Remember, it's still an 18-inch line of sight issue, right? Be'lakor is just playing very cagey and keeping Great Unclean One from being targeted, except for really close in. And so we can throw a grenade at the guy. We can shoot the Great Unclean One some, and we'll shoot the Great Unclean One some, and then maybe we'll even have the Flamers get line of sight on him. Vulkan can also do that. I think we measured and he was within 18 inches. Maybe he didn't. No one knows, guys. I don't care either. Maybe he does, though. So I was tempted to bring in the Assault Marines, but the idea here, of course, is, well, first off, maybe they're needed to charge off these Nurglings, which are engaged with the tanks, of course. So remember, so we need to kill the Nurglings as well. And then we also need the Assault Marines to be able to stop the Screamers from attacking our objective. Because remember, we've got our Intercessors here scoring us 2 primary every turn just for touching this objective. And so we've kind of got a busy turn ahead of us. We've got to execute it well so that we don't mess with ourselves too much. So we also have to bring in all of our reserves, because otherwise they all die. So here's the other thing, guys. The big bloodthirster guy is gonna he can ingress in whenever, and I didn't want him to threaten this expansion objective. Just didn't want that to be a thing. So I brought everything in over here, thinking we could eventually just threaten his own objective here. And so we've got the Infernus Marines here. Oh yeah, Vulkan did draw line of sight to the Great Unclean One, so that was cool. And then we got a tank in, we've got a Ballistas in, these Infernus here. And these Infernus can just push and kind of screen this way if they want. And because we were able to advance and shoot this turn with Devastator Doctrine, we were good to go. And you can see here, oh yeah, I took this picture because this is actually the picture at the end of the next turn, I think. No spoilers, well, kind of spoilers, but we did kill the Great Unclean One, though, so that was cool. And so yeah, this picture, this age-old picture, because we took 2 turns off, apparently, 2-player turns off. The Bloodthirster was able to ingress in again, and then he charged and killed, oh no, he just ingressed in. I'll tell you guys what he did later. He didn't charge and kill anything. Of course he didn't. Why would he? Obviously he wouldn't. But remember how he charged and killed the Dreadnought. He's in reserves now, and then he ingressed in right here, right where that arrow is. You'll see, maybe. And then I flew the Storm Speeder because he could advance in and shoot. I flew him 14 plus, I think he rolled a 5 or something. He rolled like a 19 and got on this objective just so I could hold it and force him to put something substantial on there. He would have to use either the Bloodthirster to kill it or Be'lakor to kill it. Something good, something strong to prevent, and he needed to prevent me from holding the objective as well. So it was probably gonna have to be either Be'lakor or send in all of his, like, one of the big squads here. So anyways, got the Storm Speeder onto the objective, and so yeah, he was able to score, bring it down for 2. That's right. Okay, so just 2, just because he killed my Ballistas Dreadnought. I got no prisoners, which is awesome, Good for me. Oh yeah, the tanks were able to kill all the Nurglings that were engaged with them, so that was fun. That was enjoyable, guys. Killing the Great Unclean One was great. I don't know if I even mentioned that I killed him, but he died. He died like a dog. Killed the Nurglings. What else did they even kill? They killed something else. I'm sure of it, guys. They are so good at killing stuff that I don't even remember what it was. But I think he had some corn or some flesh hounds that got in the way somewhere, which was handy. Good for me. But still, he's still ahead by 5 going into the next turn, and we haven't messed with his secondaries at all, or with his expansion objective. He gets Secure No Man's Land, which basically forces him to go into the center because he needs that middle objective. He can't get to my expansion objective, but he needs the middle objective to get secure. And then Containment is such a nice one, though. Mid game in turn 4, like it's still a very tense game, folks. Like sometimes games are over by turn 4. This game was still very much alive. So get ready for a huge change in the game state here, folks, because I finally took a photo. And yeah, I think there was these flesh hounds that were out in the middle somewhere that died. I think that was the other no priz that I got against him. So anyways, whew, look at that change here, folks. So you know, everything's dead, it feels like. Everything died. So let's take it one by one. First off, he charged the Screamers. He finally decided he can't get onto my objective. So instead, the Screamers go over here, charge the Impulsor, and don't kill it, but they do a number of wounds to it. 6 wounds to it or something like that. Vulkan is still in the Impulsor, of course. Be'lakor swoops in, just absolutely demolishes the Storm Speeder. Very sad, tragic even. And the Bloodthirster does his same old trick, guys. He moves up, so he's over here, Deep Struck. He moves up, charges the Predator, and it explodes. It died. I don't think it exploded, but it did die. And then he went up to heaven for AKA reserves, waiting to be able to ingress on my own turn to be able to strike again. He did that twice. He charged a vehicle, killed it, went into reserves, and then ingressed in and killed another. It just such an impressive thing. Like he's almost guaranteed to kill a vehicle. Like he didn't even have to roll damage when he charged in. He just rolled to hit, and then he rolled to wound, and he was like, oh, there's like 7 wounds. So no matter what, you're just dead. So killed the Predator and it's dead. But Be'lakor is out in the middle of out in the open. Oh, by the way, Be'lakor has some cool shooting and just evaporated the Incursors. They're just gone. They're dead. No, they can't pass go or collect $500. They're just gone. But he does have Be'lakor in the center, which is an opportunity for us to some degree at least, even though we can't really see him that well with our Ballistus or our tank, and we already used Devastator Doctrine. So what the hell is going to happen? Who even knows? I'll show you what happens, guys. So we get Assassination, which is only character available right now, because he has the captain guy in his bloodletters, but they're not very available. The only one available is Be'lakor, and then Cleanse. We can do that on one objective at least. So because the Bloodthirster's a character, but he's in reserves, and the Bloodletter captain guy, we can't get to him. There's no way. Be'lakor's a character though, and he left a little space open for the Blade Guard here. So it's time to go into Assault Doctrine, folks. Assault Doctrine, so that we can charge Be'lakor with our Blade Guard. Because I'm pretty sure at this point, okay, we got to kill the Screamers. We got to get the Blade Guard out, charge Be'lakor if we can. Maybe even, if our shooting hasn't been that good, have the Assault... The Screamers are out now. We don't have to worry as much about the Screamers. Now we can kill the Screamers with flamers and tanks and all sorts of terrible things. And the jump intercessors don't have to worry about them threatening our home objective now. So the jump intercessors can go up here and charge and get some mortal damage, mortal wounds on Be'lakor as well. So between the Blade Guard and jump intercessors and probably a well-aimed grenade at Be'lakor's face or potentially nutsack. I don't know if he has one of those, but Hopefully, if he does, we can get him. We can hit the target. And if we take out Be'lakor, he doesn't. His Bloodletters aren't going to kill both squads. They'll kill the Jump Intercessors. They might, even if they get lucky, kill the Blade Guard. They're not going to kill both. If they try to kill both, they'll just get killed in return and only kill half of each or something. So, on my, I was able to then, the Blade Guard rolled a 6 for their advance, which they didn't even need a 6. They were already like right here in the corner. Like they only needed to roll like a 5 at that point, but they got real close to Be'lakor and to be able to charge. The Jump Intercessors also got real close, charged, and they just evaporated Be'lakor. It wasn't close. It was very one-sided. Be'lakor lost. Yay! Yay for the loss of Be'lakor. The poor Impulsor did just die a very sad death. So first off, we have the dude here, the Bloodthirster. I keep forgetting what he's called. He deep struck onto the objective. So that was cool of him. He rapid ingressed. Yay. Let's see what else happened. Oh yeah, the Impulsor died because I needed to be able to shoot the screamers, right? And they're engaged in melee. But I can't really move the Impulsor in any way to get him out. And so I have to take a dangerous escape test or whatever it's called. And so he needs a 1 or a 2 to not, he needs to not roll a 1 or a 2. But he decided to follow in the footsteps of his favorite friend, the scout sergeant from earlier, and rolled a 1 and died like a dog. And we weren't sure if it could possibly explode, but I rolled it anyways and he didn't explode. I'm not sure about that rule. If you try to escape from engagement range with a tank and it dies as a result, could it explode? We're not sure, but it wouldn't have impacted the game. But now the screamers are out in the open, and so Vulkan, licking his chops, targeted them for rerolls to wound, and the Infernus Marines were able to just kill every single screaming one of them. Wonderful. And the tanks helped too. So, good deal. We're killing stuff, guys. Yay, Be'lakor's gone. The Screamers are gone. He's running out of resources. He's running out of turns. So am I, actually. So, all the Screamers, they're gone. And I managed to score 5 on Assassinations, 2 on Cleanse, and we're still behind by 6. Even after all of this, we're behind by 6. Only 1 turn to go. Because he only got 3 for Containment, which that felt nice, at least. That was good. Yay for us. Because he didn't have anything on board edges, really, except for his Flesh Hounds. So he rolls Engage on All Fronts and Establish Locus, which are both things that he can do. I think he actually re-rolled one of them. We'll see what it was at the end. He rolled to change one of them out. So he jumps in. The Bloodthirster, he decides he can tow into my home, into my deployment zone, because remember, it's table quarters, so he's not fully within, but as long as he tows it in, we checked with the judge, as long as he tows into it, he can score the 4-point established locus. So Bloodthirster, it doesn't actually attack anything. He just jumps up and establishes locus. The Bloodletters go in, just slaughter the Jump Intercessors, and they're able to, when they charge, get into my table quarters. So they get small engage on all fronts as well. Jump Intercessors, I had 2 CP, so I used Fight on Death with them, because I've never used it, and they killed like 1 Bloodletter. It was so depressing, guys. You roll like 39 dice, and you expect something better than, I mean, for my wound roll, I think I had like 20 dice roll, and I needed 4 ups, and I rolled 3 of them, and then he rolled through 2 of them as saves. It was so depressing and stupid. I mean, it didn't matter that much. I didn't need them to do a lot of damage. I just wanted them to do something. So that was it for him, and I mean, he's up by quite a bit here, folks. Yeah, so you can see the Bloodletters, he doesn't touch the Blade Guard, who, like, he's just trying to hem him out. He doesn't want the Blade Guard to threaten his objective, because I still have Storm Hostile, I still have the whatever it's called, the one that kill things that are on the objective, overwhelming force. So he doesn't want to be on objectives. He doesn't want me to take objectives. He's just trying to hem me out, which, I mean, he's a good player, of course he's going to do that. So let's see, and that's it. Most of my stuff is still alive, at least, which is something. For my turn, I get Established Locus and Recover Assets, which Recover Assets on turn 5 when you still have stuff available is actually pretty dang great. So, first off, we have our objectives. We have to score... We have to score like 20 points. We have to score more than 20 points this turn or we're going to lose. But the good news is with Burden of Trust, we're able to score 2 on my home objective. We get 6 on the expansion objective and 6 on this center objective because we're guarding it. We're guarding the objective. Yay for us. So that's 14 on its own. And yeah, so here's a picture of the finale here, folks. And what I ended up doing, quite simply, you can see I had 9 minutes left, he had 5 minutes left, and so I moved the tank into his deployment zone and recovered assets. And these guys recover assets, I guess, and so do these guys, so I got the full 6. And then I towed in with the Ballistas Dreadnought and Established Locus for 4. So... went up to 71 points. He was at 67, and whew, just barely, folks, because we were able to score 14 on primary on our final, and we scored 10 on secondaries, which all of our secondaries were pretty good, honestly, because we had been rolling so many bad ones. That was it, folks. That's all she wrote. We got it by 4 points. 4 so close. Such a close game. Gosh, what a crazy game. I just, yeah, just total madness. Gosh, so what a crazy close game. He screened really well. He made it so that I couldn't really get to the places that I wanted to be. So kudos to him. I mean, he played it really well. He denied me a lot of the things I wanted to do. I couldn't even touch his expansion objective. Didn't even touch it one time this game because he screened so well. So good on my opponent. It was pretty good, man. He done good. The Bloodthirster, dude. Just you can't take 2 of them. Well, at least you could take 2, I think, but I don't think you could do the same thing because I think it's an enhancement that he has to take in order to immediately go up into heaven or whatever, into reserves again after he kills something, but still really good. He kept killing my tanks. Color me impressed. He's an expensive piece, but man, I didn't do a single point of damage to the guy the whole game. My secondaries were really bad. When I looked at my secondaries at the end, I was like, the only ones that I didn't like were Overwhelming Force and Secure, or not Secure. I think I had that one on the list as well. The 2 that require me to take objectives, storm hostile objectives. Otherwise, all of them were things that I could get pretty easily and for pretty good points. Like I could have gotten Sabotage for 6 pretty easily. Yeah, there was just a lot. I don't need to list all of them for you, but pretty bad secondaries. But you can't really just, of course you can hope you get good secondaries, but sometimes you get bad ones. And he didn't get the very best either. So, and being able to deny him a few of the key ones was also good. Plus, I think all of my stratagems were pretty important this game as well. So, yeah, got the win. Got 3 wins in a row against 3 really good opponents. And so we ended up having 4 undefeated players because it's a huge RTT. We're only playing 3 rounds, so you're not going to get to 1 undefeated winner. It would have taken like 5 rounds to do that. And so I beat a guy that in round 2 that won a GT a couple months ago, 100-person GT, 6-round GT. Won all 6 of his games, and I was able to beat him in round 2. And then round 3, in that same GT, that the same guy who's in like this really strong meta, by the way, all these really good players here, he went 5-1 with the Tzeentch Demons in that GT a couple months ago. Beat him. One of the toughest strength of schedules ever, right? Ended up getting 4th place, didn't even podium, didn't win an award. I just contributed to the awards of others who got the same record as me, which, honestly, congrats to them. I mean, good job going 3-0. Awesome. I'm happy with it for myself, too. Kind of feels bad to just be a contributor, like, have some prize support, guys who got the same record and probably didn't have to face as many crazy, over-the-top, amazing players that I had to. Do I sound bitter? I'm not bitter. Of course I'm not bitter. Why would I be bitter? Why would you even ask that? No, it is fine. I wanted some practice before the Rocky Mountain Open, and I got it. And I think... Did anyone think Salamanders could do that? I mean, everyone's like, oh, well, you still have, like, you're playing Marines. It's really good. But yeah, I guess. But no one knows what Vulkan does or Adrax. I'm happy with how I did. I feel like people should pat me on the head and tell me, well done, lad. More than is happening. But, of course, that's just me being a huge whiner. So, what's the next event, folks? A Rocky Mountain Open. It should be out. Oh, wow, in the middle of my video. Spam caller. Nice. Nice. Rocky Mountain Open should be going on once this is released, folks. You can watch my progress, Adam Tricola, in BCP. It's a program or whatever. It's linked in the video description. You can go watch, see how I do, and then it's looking like maybe I'm gonna go to this GT in Albuquerque. I'm not totally sure yet. Seems pretty cool though. The $1,000 cash prize for the first place winner might be worth an attempt at least. And then I'll be playing in that Fight Club team tournament, maybe using Imperial Knights. No one knows, but one way or another, folks, I'm gonna call it good here. Wish me luck in Rocky Mountain Open. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, comment. Let's mount the algorithm, if you wouldn't mind, please. And let's call it, folks. Thank you all so much for watching one more time. And remember that if you didn't hear it from me, it's probably heresy. Most likely. Take care, folks.